Hey everybody, it's Cathy Yerges with BG3, and today we're back talking about more questions that I received regarding a video I did a couple weeks ago and then a workshop I did recently on how to create your ideal customer persona. And while it looks like a simple worksheet that you would fill out, there's so much more that goes into it, and a lot of people had questions even yesterday as I was speaking to a group about, how can you make decisions on some of these things? How can you get that specific? And we talked about the reason why you need to be that specific. And I want to bring up a couple of things that people shared and that we discussed. So if your ideal customer, if you're describing your ideal customer and it includes the word anybody who wants to lose weight, anybody who wants to get more leads, anybody who wants to grow better flowers, it's not close enough. You need to do more work. So if your ideal customer includes anybody that says anybody, somebody, everybody, then that's not close enough, and you need to do a little bit more work on that. So as we were working through this worksheet in a group yesterday, a lot of people became uncomfortable almost when they had to make decisions about some things on here, such as political views and religious views, because they felt that if they chose one and got really specific about one, then they were judging or excluding the others. And somebody in the workshop came up with this great suggestion that she uses, and it's whenever you feel judgment taking place, we all do it. We internally judge something that we see or hear. Replace that judgment with curiosity. So instead of judging them, which really means placing our values above theirs, feel like you're being curious. Ask questions, understand why. It all revolves around understanding what is important to your ideal customer and how you can respect that. Okay, it doesn't mean we have to completely agree with it. It doesn't have to mean we have to be similar to it. It means that we need to understand it and respect it. So if you need to choose a political stance for your ideal customer, do that with the basis of trying to understand them more. Okay, the same with religion. It can be a sticky topic if you're choosing one religion over another. But I gave some instances where that's important. I had a client in Utah who part of our messaging strategy was going to be, hey, can we meet for a cup of coffee? Seems simple enough here in the Midwest, but in Utah, they don't drink coffee. They don't consume caffeine. So that wasn't going to work because of the Mormon religion and the Mormon population out there. And so I needed to be more curious and do a little bit more research about that culture, that lifestyle, that belief system, so that we could come up with something that was going to work for them. I wasn't judging them, although I love coffee. I wasn't judging them that they don't drink coffee, but I needed to understand more how they would relate. Okay. And the other thing, people have a really hard time niching. Okay. When you niche, you need to get really specific, and people say, I don't want to give up business. I don't want to turn business away. I'll help anybody who needs my help. And while that can be true, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're not going to do business with somebody. It means that we are going to focus on one specific person or persona and understand them so well that we can serve them better. So it doesn't mean that we won't serve others, but we serve one particular group better. And that's going to come through in our marketing, in our products and services, how we handle disagreements, how we price things, how we package things. It's going to affect every decision about our business when we niche and truly understand what this group or this persona needs and what they're looking for. Okay. So, another area is that a lot of times when we fill out the customer persona, people, what we feel they need. So one of the areas on the customer persona is to fill out what their most important needs and wants are. Okay. So another gentleman pointed out that what your client comes to you for might be different from what they truly need, because what they truly need is maybe a little deeper and a little harder for them to let come to the surface. So in the example that this gentleman gave, a lot of people might come to him for coaching because they need help with time management or organization, something like that. But really, when you start talking to them, it gets down to relationships and belief systems and priorities. And that stuff is a little trickier to talk about. So when you're identifying your ideal persona, you want to look at both levels. What do they say that they need? What are they seeking right now? Because that's how you're going to get on their radar, is because they're looking for it and willing to accept it right now, versus what really deep down do they need. That's what you need to get to after they become a customer, after you have that initial intake conversation with them. But first and foremost, you need to give them what they're seeking. You can't sell them on what you're offering if that's not what they're looking for. And so you have to think about what kind of content, what sort of products and services are they looking for right now to solve this problem or issue that they think they have, and meet them there. And then you can take them down the path to offer a wider range of products and services and really get to something that can help them and benefit them. Another great question came with having to have multiple personas, and this is common. So it's not wrong to have multiple personas, but you need to have separate ones. You can't have one persona that tries to encapsulate everybody. So if you serve a wide demographic, that's fine, but have multiple customer personas then, so you can speak to each one individually. And if you have a social media site that you're managing, such as Facebook, and you only have one social media site to share and meet all of these customer personas, you have a real balancing act, because you need to share content that's going to relate to each persona without playing favoritism to one or the other, because you don't want to exclude any, and you also don't want some to feel that the content that you're posting is completely irrelevant to them. So there's a balancing act, and the best thing to do is just, again, find that common thread. I talk about that in LinkedIn profiles when you have multiple jobs, but find the common thread that links them all, and house a lot of your content around that if you're serving multiple personas. And then once in a while, do something specific to one of the personas, even if it doesn't fit everybody. Okay, you have to manage, and it's a balancing act. And then the final point that I want to share is that sometimes you have to shift your marketing. Okay, so you've been marketing one way, you've been reaching one demographic, and all of a sudden a new opportunity presents itself, or you realize you need to launch a new product or service to help your business grow, and you're going to be serving a different demographic. Again, by going back to this customer persona and identifying the niche or the set of customers that you want to serve with this new product offering, you will be able to better understand the marketing. So maybe you've been doing marketing one way, always on Facebook or always on LinkedIn or always in print advertising. And by understanding this new customer demographic that you're going to be reaching, you will have a better idea of where to advertise. Maybe it's going to be joint ventures, maybe it'll be billboards, whatever it is. But going back and truly identifying the customer persona for that new product line is going to help you make those decisions much easier. All right. So I hope this was helpful today. As always, post any comments or questions and I will get back to you. We're extra early today, I know, but feel free to leave your comments and questions. I look forward to getting back to you. Be sure to subscribe so you get all my updates, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, everybody.